Taneja is joining us from Kazan, Russia. Jessica, this is the 16th BRICS summit, which Russia will be hosting on October 22nd and 23rd. Get us more as to what is on the agenda.
That's correct. This BRICS summit is, of course, important, and you see the participation from various leaders, but barring the Brazilian counterpart, the Silva, who's, of course, on a medical advice and won't be here. But the agenda particularly would focus on, the kind of reforms that the BRICS nations have been sort of seeking for the longest time and ever since its inception. Now, the BRICS group has also expanded, but that expansion, of course, leads to various different outcomes. But the agenda particularly would focus on economic cooperation, political cooperation, and also talk about security, as the high-level delegation of various heads of state will be here. And that is important to see that what exactly comes out of that entire meeting. But particularly when you talk about the financial system that is in place, something that the BRICS nations have been talking about, trading in local currencies to an extent. No talks of de-dollarization this time around, a concept that has faded away, and in fact did get much of the clarity from the Indian side as well, that it is not something that they will continue to delve on. Talking about this particular summit's agenda, look at the backdrop of how the regional and key issues have developed, and also the global issues and how it affects the BRICS nations, particularly the global south. Look at the South-South cooperation, which currently also binds the BRICS nation groups, BRICS nations. So, the all-encompassing agenda here would be how do these, how do these nations also come together and bring in certain reforms that would benefit their economy, would benefit their commerce, and certainly move ahead, but not completely move away from the Western architecture at this point, but at the same time, to an extent, reduce dependency on dollar, and that varies among nations. So we'll have to see as to how this entire, the entire summit and the declaration, what exactly comes out of that. But one thing is certain, security cooperation remains a dominant part of the BRICS nations as well.
All right, so that was about what is to be taken up on the agenda. But then we will also see, new nations in attendance at the BRICS forum. Help us understand the significance of this expansion, and also what is it that the new members, are bringing with them through their participation.
If you'd recall, earlier this year, in fact, on January 1st, we saw the addition of 5 member nations to BRICS. That was Egypt, Ethiopia, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, as well. So the addition of these nations certainly, would boost the economic ties between the nations, especially when these countries, most of them big oil producers of the world, OPEC countries joining in. It certainly enhances the entire appeal of the BRICS nations. But apart from being the oil behemoths that they are, also expecting, the expectations from nations would be very different this time around. And with United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Ethiopia, Egypt in the fold, you could expect much momentum at least, and strengthening of the cooperation between BRICS member nations. Remember, it is a 5-nation group. It is now going to be BRICS Plus. We don't know with the nomenclature and how that goes, but so far the anticipation is that the oil behemoths would bring that kind of force that currently the BRICS nations would benefit from.
All right, Jessica, we leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those details.